Norwegian Nobel Committee has awarded the 2025 Nobel Peace Prize to Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado for her tireless work promoting democratic rights for the people of Venezuela and for her struggle to achieve just and peaceful transition from dictatorship to democracy. The Nobel Peace Prize for 2025 goes to a brave and committed champion of peace, to a woman who keeps the flame of democracy burning amid a growing darkness. The committee said in its announcement, well, 2025 Nobel Peace Prize has been declared. The whole world has been anticipating for it. The Nobel Peace Prize are given for physics, chemistry, and yesterday for literature too. But the whole world was not anticipating and anxiously waiting, keeping their fingers crossed, not for all those Nobel Prizes. But the whole world was anticipating who is going to win the 2025 Nobel Prize for Peace. Because there was so much speculation, anxiety all over the world. The President of the United States himself declared. He has been declaring it for a long time, maybe for the last 6 months, that he has solved many problems of the world, especially the 7 wars, including the war between India and Pakistan. Though the Indian Prime Minister has openly said there was no role of the President of the United States of America, the whole world was keeping their fingers crossed who is going to win the Nobel Prize for Peace for 2025. Till yesterday, there was a truce, there was a peace, there was an agreement between Gaza and Israel. The war has almost come to an end between Hamas and Israel. And there is exchange of the prisoners as well as the people Hamas has caught a couple of years back from Israel. Well, even yesterday also the President of the United States was almost hoping that he is going to get the Nobel Peace Prize. It was not a coincidence that the war has come to an end between Israel and Gaza. It was not a coincidence. It was arranged in such a way that on 9th of this month, there was a peace agreement between Gaza and Israel, and 10th, the President of the United States was going to get the Nobel Peace Prize. But that didn't happen. That didn't happen actually. That was a big disappointment for the President of the United States, Donald Trump. Prior to this announcement of 2025, the Nobel Peace Prize, there had been speculation about US President Donald Trump potentially winning the award. Now let's talk about Maria Corina Machado. Machado, a central figure in Venezuela's pro-democracy movement, is a powerful symbol of civilian courage. In Latin America, for decades, she has defied the repressive regime of Nicolas Maduro, enduring threats, assets, and political persecution. Despite living under constant risk, she has remained in Venezuela, inspiring millions through her insistence on peaceful resistance and free elections. Well, this was a right decision by the Norwegian authorities to give the Peace Prize to Machado, because throughout her life she was a fearless lady. They call her Iron Lady. She never, in spite of facing so many difficulties, so many threats, so many problems from the ruling party, she never left the country. She stayed there, inspiring people that she was anticipating. She was expecting one day she is going to get Peace Prize. One day she is going to get peace in Venezuela. The Nobel Committee described her as a unifying force in a once fractured opposition, whose leadership helped mobilize volunteers across political divides. During Venezuela's disputed 2024 election, that is last year, when the regime barred her candidacy, she was not allowed to fight for the elections. Machado backed opposition representative Edmund Gonzalez Vertillo. She oversaw citizen-led efforts to monitor polling stations, document tallies, and expose elected frauds, even as the government sought to suppress dissent. In its statement, the committee said, Maria Corina Machado has shown that the tools of democracy are also the tools of peace. The tools of democracy are the tools of peace. She embodies the hope of a different future, one where the fundamental rights of citizens are protected and their voices are heard. Who exactly is Maria Corina Machado? Well, let's see a brief thing about her. Political leader and activist, national coordinator of Venti Venezuela, a liberal political party she co-founded in 2013, and a former member of the National Assembly from 2010 to 2015. Founder of Democracy Platforms, helped establish SUMATE, a civil society group promoting free elections, and Soy Venezuela, a coalition advocating democratic transition. Voice of Resistance, expelled from parliament in 2014 after denouncing human rights abuses at the Organization of American States. She has faced charges of treason and conspiracy, travels, bans, and political disqualification. International recognition. Named among BBC, that is British Broadcasting Corporation, 100 most influential women in 2018. Recipient of Charles T. Manatt Prize in 2014. Liberated Cortes de Cadiz 2015 and the Liberal International Freedom Prize 2019. Let's see what economic vision she had. Advocates privatization of Venezuela's oil industry, re-engagement with international financial institutions, and liberalization to rebuild the economy, an approach likened to Argentina's Milei. What educational qualification she had? Basically, Maria Machado has a degree in industrial engineering and a finance specialization. From all perspectives, Machado deserves this Nobel Prize for Peace. She had immense suffering throughout her life. She wanted to bring peace, she wanted to privatize, because there was huge corruption in the ruling party as well as the government. She wanted to privatize because she has seen the other parts of the world, the United States and the many other capitalist countries. And also she wanted to have a complete democracy elected by the people without any fear. She wanted to erase the dictatorship from this Latin American country, Venezuela. Well, we'll see in this video now, recall how the nominations are done for the Nobel Peace Prize. Well, what is the nomination process for Nobel Peace Prize? The process for nominating a candidate for the Nobel Peace Prize is strict and highly confidential. Nominations can be submitted by individuals who meet certain qualifications, such as members of national governments, professors in relevant fields, previous bureaucrats, and directors of peace research institutes. Self-nominations are not accepted. The deadline for nominations is January 31st each year, and nominations are kept private for 50 years. Once nominations are received, the Norwegian Nobel Committee, responsible for selecting the laureates, that is Nobel laureates, compiles a list of candidates for review. The committee assesses each nominee's contribution to peace, aiming for an unanimous decision. In rare cases where consensus is not reached, the laureates are chosen by a simple majority. The Nobel Peace Prize is distinct in that it is awarded in Oslo, Norway, rather than Stockholm, where other Nobel Prizes are presented. Now let's see some key factors about the Nobel Peace Prize. The Nobel Peace Prize was established by Alfred Nobel's will in 1895, designed to recognize individuals or organizations that have made significant contributions to peace, fraternity between nations, or the reduction of military forces. The prize has been awarded 106 times since its inception, though it has been withheld on 19 occasions, often due to the absence of deserving candidates. Notably, the Peace Prize is sometimes shared between 2 or 3 recipients who have made joint efforts towards peace. Among the most prestigious recipients are those who have worked for human rights, disarmament, and the protection of women and children. Some of the youngest laureates include Malala Yousafzai, awarded at 17, while the oldest was Joseph Rothblatt at 86. Of the 143 laureates, 20 have been women, with Bertha von Suttner being the first in 1905. With this, curtains are drawn on the Nobel Peace Prize for 2025. Today is 20. Well, we have been long waiting for this, keeping the fingers crossed. Not just one country, the entire world. Well, some people in Latin America celebrated They're happy because the Nobel Prize has gone to Venezuela. Well, the President of America, Donald Trump, was disheartened. That was the biggest sorrow which he never expected, that he will lose the Nobel Prize after negotiating to bring peace in 7 of the wars. Well, man proposes, God disposes. That's all we have time for today. Till we meet next time, peace. Take care. Don't forget to subscribe, share and like our videos. Bye bye guys.